Husband Directive number 9, Marriage Authority. Hello everybody, I'm Jim McCotter. Welcome. In John 13, 3 through 9, in part it says this, quote, Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, You don't understand now what I'm doing, but someday you will. No, Peter replied, you will never ever wash my feet. Jesus replied, Unless I wash you, you won't belong to me. Simon Peter explained at that point, Please, then wash my hands and head as well, Lord, not just my feet. End quote. Just as God the Father gave Jesus, quote, authority over everything, end quote, God also has given the husband authority over his wife, quote, in everything. Ephesians 5:22 and through 24 and Colossians 3:18 says that. But note what John said, because Jesus, quote, knew, end quote, that he had, quote, authority over everything, end quote, including his disciples. For that reason, he got up and washed their feet. Men who know that God has given them authority over their wife, they will serve their wife. When you know that you have authority over your wife, then you serve her. And you're an amazing hero to her at that point, and she will not be able but to greatly honor you. This is why we honor Jesus so greatly. Matthew 20:28 it says, For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Jesus said in Matthew 23:12, Those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. This is not hard to understand, and it's certainly not hard to do. Anybody can humble themselves and serve. It's just hard against your flesh that will always grind against you being humble and denying self. But think about it. The proud person wants to be exalted so bad. That's why he exalts himself. But pride will always have you deceived and miss the mark. The more the proud person exalts himself, the more he will be humbled. So he boasts even more, and he is humbled even more. Meditate on this verse and never stop, and you will eventually have joy in conquering your flesh and humbling yourself and serving. But Peter, in no way was he going to let Jesus wash his feet. But, quote, Jesus replied, Unless I wash you, you won't belong to me, Simon Peter exclaimed. Then wash my hands and head as well, Lord, not just my feet. Now, this is how you can use the power of your authority. Men, use your authority like Jesus. Demand your wife let you serve her. Quote, Wife, you have no choice. You're going to let me serve you. End quote. Such husbands may shock their wives, but will revolutionize their wives and their marriage forever. But this does not mean you relinquish your authority over your wife in any way, or not lead your wife in every way. It just means this is one of the ways you exercise your authority over your wife. Husband, when you live this kind of life over your wife, she will then want to listen to you, respect you, and respond to you, as she should in everything, Ephesians 5:24. If not initially, just love and serve her more. In principle, she will eventually come to you like we do to Jesus, with love and honor, because he has sacrificed himself so much for us. It was said of Jesus that he first would do and then he would teach, Acts 1:1. Jesus also tells us to first do and then teach in Matthew 5:19. Husbands, you are commanded to teach your wives. 1 Corinthians 14:34 and 35, and 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 through 14. But first, you must do. First, you must serve and honor your wives. Number 1, wash them with the water of the word. Number 2, provide for them their physical needs. Number 3, provide their needs for affection. After Jesus washed his disciples' feet, he told them in John 13:15, I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. End quote. This will prove to be a lifelong blessing to your wife and to you if you practice your authority over your wife the same way that Jesus did with his disciples. Paul and Peter also exhorted us as husbands to love and serve our wives. Therefore, serve and honor your wife so that she can't help but appreciate, love, and respect you and want to always respond to you in every way she can. But you might say, I'm not Jesus. I have never been that kind of a husband, and I don't know how I could possibly be that kind of a husband. With the next directive, I guarantee you, you will easily be able to be the husband that God wants you to be. It will affect your wife to love and respect you more and make you a happy camper. Quote, Jesus replied, unless I wash you, you won't belong to me.